What do I know? I'm just a girl on the internet. I am feeling just a little bit paranoid about this recording process because the other day when I was filming my comeback episode of 2024, my very first episode of 2024, my post-holiday, post-break episode, I recorded the entire thing on my camera here completely out of focus to the point where it wasn't even fixable. And I feel like for the most part, I'm relatively tech savvy. Like I can edit video and photo and like I can change colors and temperatures and edit things in. But for some reason, as a society, we have not advanced to the point of being able to take a completely blurry photo or video and reversing it to being completely visible and not blurry, actually. Or you know what? Maybe we have, and I just haven't figured it out, and that makes me a sorry sucker. I don't know what to say. If this video footage makes it to YouTube and you've been watching pretty consistently on my channel, I did kind of switch up my recording area. I love to say recording studio when I am in fact in my little 1-bedroom studio apartment here. And I am in fact not in a podcasting studio, and I am quite literally in the smallest corner of my bedroom, literally staring at my bed. But if I want to call it a studio for the vibes, I'm gonna call it a studio, okay? But I did a little rearranging. I decided to sort of off-center the camera. I just was rewatching some footage, trying to decide how I can make my video quality a little bit better, how I can just kind of overall improve the experience of the podcast. And I was like, I don't love the very much forward, straight on vibe of the camera. I kind of am appreciating this new angle where I'm a little bit off to the side. I can kind of like turn my body different ways. I don't know. It feels like oddly intimidating, or more like a interview or something, to have the camera just directly in front of me. And I don't know. So we kind of switched up a little bit, kind of moved a few things in the corner here. I hope you like it. But anyways, that's the little update here on the podcast. Nothing else new. Hope you're having a great day for whenever you are listening to this. I know we are well into the new year now, so I hope everyone's January is going as planned, because I know this is the time of the new year when so many people put all this stress and I think just expectation on themselves in terms of like, I have New Year's resolutions, or I have goals, or like January 1st, I'm going to hit the gym, or, you know, kind of 180 your life a little bit. As I've gotten older over the years, I've learned that I do a lot better if I don't try to change and scrap everything I know just because it's a new year. And I think as you get older, or at least this is my perspective of it, I kind of think about it as just another day. I get excited. I love a new year, a new vibe, like a Sunday to Monday, like the new start of a week. I get excited about that. I also love the new year because it gives me the chance to look forward to the events that are going to happen from January 1st to December 31st. I get to have memories for a full year that happened exclusively in that year and not in any other year. You get to capture memories and moments from that year specifically. But then, of course, on top of that, I love a good vision board. If you didn't see that video, I posted it on my YouTube channel outside of the podcast, but I love a vision board. I love creating goals or intentions, things like that. Absolutely love it. But changing the mindset of new year, new me, or like new year, I have to start over. You think of it as like, all right, this is just another day. Like the world doesn't stop. You know, the calendar changes, but nothing else really changes. I mean, just a little number switches based on your calendar year. So if you can think of a new year, just like opening a door for opportunity and cool things to happen for you in the next 365 days, it will, I think, help you achieve whatever goals, expectations, hobbies, activities, or things that you have planned or unplanned for yourself in that year. So moral of the story, don't try to change every single thing on January 1st. If you are finding yourself now here sort of at the end of January and you're like, what am I doing? I've dropped all my resolutions. I don't know what to do. I want to share with you some of my healthy habits or these little traits, just things that I have been doing fairly consistently that have helped me over the years that actually make a difference in the quality of my life, how I'm feeling, just being in a good place, both mentally, physically, all of that. And they are also little habits that I tend to come back to. Non-sponsored beverage of the day, Diet Dr. Pepper. I'm pretty sure in the last episode I was like, I'm drinking water because I drink way too much diet soda. Sue me, okay? Like a girl, have you, listen. Oh, actually, love this. I live in North Carolina and the South, we've gotten like real crazy winter storms coming through here. We have just been hit with a lot of coldness. My Southern accent's not that great, which is a whole other story. People always get shocked if I meet them and they're from elsewhere and they're like, you're from North Carolina? You don't have a Southern accent. Multiple times I've been to California, and when I meet folks over there or talk to locals and we end up talking about where we're from, they're like, you don't sound like a redneck. Do you live on a farm? I genuinely ask. I'm like, what do you think North Carolina is like? Do you think it's just one big farmland? Everyone just rides tractors to school and owns a horse? Be for real. Like, do you surf to work every day, Mr. California? Like, come on. Let's not be ridiculous. What was I talking about? Oh, cold front, wacky, freezing winter weather down here in the South. So cold that it was 16 degrees Fahrenheit when I woke up this morning. That is pretty cold for the South. God, where was I going with this? Oh my God, my Dr. Pepper. Oh, I had a case. So sorry. I had a case of Diet Dr. Pepper in my car that I left there for like probably longer than I should have. And I grabbed it, brought it inside, and it was not ice cold. Well, it wasn't like frozen, but it was like an ice cold, crispy Diet Dr. Pepper. Didn't have to put it on ice. I didn't have to put it in the fridge. I just drank that right out of my car because it was just a crispy, cold, deliciously fresh Diet Dr. Pepper. I am talking way too much simply about a drink. Oh my God. Back to the healthy habits, the things that I was talking about that I feel I always end up coming back to. Here's the deal. I entered the internet space starting off with diets and food and cooking and just sharing my life that way. I have slowly transitioned over the years to a little bit of wellness, a little bit of fitness, a little bit of lifestyle, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Cat content, cleaning, celebrity diets. I do a little bit of everything. Okay, now I have a podcast. But I am a sucker for trying a wellness trend. I will try out a diet if you feel like you had good results from it. I will cut out certain foods if you feel better because of it. I will try any vitamin that is safe, of course. I love to try new things. Trying out new habits and routines and just incorporating different things into your lifestyle, I think is so fun. I like to believe this is also the reason that I have tried out so many different types of workout programs and classes. I have done so many over the years, more or less to just trial and error and see what I like and really just try it for the experience, but also just to figure out what I really like, to find out what type of workout classes or types of workout programs I prefer and which ones I don't. As I mentioned, I am somebody who has gone through probably hundreds of different types of routines, habits, tips, tricks, life hacks, because for as long as I'm on this earth, I'd like to live a happy, meaningful, relatively healthy life. I do not wish to suffer on a day-to-day basis. I don't want to be unpleasant or unhappy or miserable for what I can control, of course. So I'm going to try just about anything. So when people come onto the internet and they're complaining about like a new wellness trend that's on TikTok, or they're complaining about like something that became popular or whatever, I'm like, is it really that bad that we are actually encouraging these like healthy wellness habits and people are like actually drinking water because they have an emotional support water bottle? Like, is it that bad? Again, if you didn't listen to my last episode, I went into a little bit more specific detail about like the wellness industry and things that I think are scams, and if the wellness industry in general is a scam or not. And I feel like most of mine on my list are free. So it's not like, oh my God, buy this product, do this thing, whatever, in order to be well. They're just like simple little habits and tricks and things that you can do to live a better life, to be overall better. I have 10 here. I think I could have made more, but these are ones that I always come back to because, as I've mentioned, trial and error, love it. I'm always willing to do something new, try something new, or especially for you guys, like I love to film it, try it out for a week, try it out for a month, make a YouTube video about it, share my experience. My first one, which is probably the most annoying one on this list, but it's so true. And again, like I hate that this is true for me. Cooking meals at home. That is a habit that is really easy for me to get out of. I will go through phases of my life, my month, whatever, where I'm getting really busy, or I haven't been to the grocery store, or I'm just generally feeling lazy. Like the week of my period, all I want to do is like order Uber Eats and like order sushi somewhere, even ordering like a salad from somewhere, or maybe not a salad and maybe you just want like a pizza or something. When I go on these bouts of getting food somewhere, doesn't matter what it is, could be like the freshest, cleanest salad of all time or a big old like double cheeseburger, I never feel awesome after, because there's just something with the consumption of that for me that it's like it just never feels great. I always feel like a little bit icky. Again, even if it's like the healthiest option on the menu. Because I think like I worked in a restaurant for so many years. I kind of like think about how food is prepared and how it's made. And then just not knowing like exactly where the food came from, not handling it, not preparing it. And like, I don't know. It's just one of those things for me that I notice when I am having like a really good week and I'm cooking every single meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner on my own at home, even if it's like frozen vegetables that I'm like sauteing in a pan and a protein or whatever, I always feel better. I am good at cooking. I am pretty creative when it comes to recipes and stuff. So maybe that is just me. But again, there's just something about whipping up something in the kitchen for yourself and knowing where everything came from. You bought it from the store, you're cooking it, you can like control the temperature of the food, the spices, the seasonings, all of that. And it just is something I always go back to, because again, if I'll go a few days with like ordering food, or like when you travel, that's like another one, when you're traveling and I don't know, you're staying somewhere where you're not like cooking a lot and you're eating out constantly. Always the moment I get home and I cook that first home cooked meal and I'm like, oh my God, this is the best meal I've ever had in my life. So something about it, I always come back to it. If you start to feel yourself getting out of this like health and wellness kick, try cooking your own meals, promise. The 5-minute rule is one I come back to a lot as well. This is not one I do 24/7, but this is one that I do come back to, and I like to incorporate it as much as I can. But of course, life can get busy, life can get in the way. Maybe you're feeling a little stressy and depressy. You know, it's not that easy all the time. But the 5-minute rule essentially is, if you have a task before you that would take less than 5 minutes to do, just go ahead and do it. For me, I do like to apply this rule to my life, because let's say there's 6 items in my kitchen sink. It will take me less than 5 minutes to take those 6 items, put them in my dishwasher. Probably will take me less than a minute, you know? Changing my sheets off my bed. When I'm like, okay, these are dirty. They have cat hair on them. They're a week old. I need to like put fresh sheets on my bed. Hate it. one of the most annoying tasks possible when it comes to chores. But guess what? It takes less than 5 minutes and you always feel better after you do it. This also is a really good tool if you're somebody that procrastinates a lot. When you really break down the amount of things you're avoiding that you can actually do super quickly, you're like, oh, so why was I putting this off for so long when it ended up being like a super easy thing? Because that's my problem, is I'll procrastinate. When I finally sit down to do something, I'm like, that literally took no time. Why am I the actual worst? I'm my own worst enemy sometimes. Another habit I always come back to is a weekly reset. I said it at the start of the episode. Love a new year, love a Sunday, love a good weekly reset. I'm changing my sheets. I'm doing a full body shower and everything shower. I am sprucing up the apartment. I'm going to vacuum. I'm going to do all the things because I just love to set up my week for success. That doesn't mean I can't vacuum or change my sheets on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. But if I get the opportunity to do like a good old big fat reset on like a Sunday, love. If it's a Sunday I'm not working especially, I can put on a little music, a podcast. If it's football season, some football in the background, I'm meal prepping, I'm cleaning, I'm cooking, I'm resetting, I'm doing my planner. I always come back to a weekly reset. It is just, it scratches my brain. It feels so good. I feel so productive. And it just mentally, like, it could be like a psychological trick, but I just feel like the week is going to be just so much better when I have that full reset. A very underrated wellness habit that I highly recommend is just small acts of kindness. This is just being kind to other humans. Smiling at a stranger, holding a door open for somebody. I have done like the drive-through chain where I'm like, I'll buy the person behind me's coffee or a meal. My close friends, I'm one of my love languages. I love to give. Sometimes I will just randomly buy my friends little gifts. I'll be like, oh, like this made me think of you. Or even just like a little card where I'm like, hey, love you, bestie, like appreciate you. Sometimes I just buy people things because I'm just like, ooh, it makes me happy. Little things like that, those wellness, like that sort of habit in your life in terms of wellness, it might not be one that you would think about, but I'm always gravitating toward that because not only does it usually make that other person feel good or special or loved or just like happy in that moment, but like I feel very satisfied also because I think I say it a lot, but like life is rough. You just don't know what anyone else is going through. And, you know, I've been the person on the receiving end of not being included in a friend group or being left out or being treated poorly in the past, especially like childhood. So I think just as an adult, I'd like to go out of my way to just like be nice to people. I don't know. Kindness is just so important to me. I think especially to strangers. And when you can do those little acts of kindness, when I bring those back into my routine and I really focus on those, I feel so much better. And it's not like a selfish thing, like I did a good deed, but like I think it actually like soothes my brain a little bit and it makes me just be like, wow, like life is so beautiful. We can just be kind to one another because the world is just so full of hate and just violence and not goodness, you know, but there is so much that we can be thankful for and we can be kind about. And I love little things like that. That feels cheesy. And it's like, okay, this is like the beauty of life. And these are the good things that we can do for each other and just be human at the end of the day. Another wellness habit I'm always coming back to is taking my dang vitamins. Listen, go to your doctor, go to your primary physician, or you can go to Dr. Google, whatever you want to do. And feel free to look up what vitamins like are recommended for you, your gender, your age, whatever. Again, recommend going to a doctor so you can kind of like talk it out. But sometimes I'd be a little stressy and depressy. Okay. You know, and you've got winter, the winter blues. It's darker earlier. You're not getting as much vitamin D. It's just like, you can get a little sad. You can get a little sad. It makes me want to sleep a little extra. Like sometimes I'd be sleeping in like real late on a day that I have a lot of work to do. And I'm like, what do I need to do to not feel this way? Well, first of all, antidepressants, but it's not TMI, but after conversation with my primary physician, B12, a vitamin B12, a vitamin D3, a little magnesium to help me sleep at night. Oh, it's like a new world. I feel like a new person when I just take my vitamins. If I go like 3 days without taking a vitamin, I'm like, oh, why do I feel so bad? I'm tired. I'm irritable. I'm cranky. And then I'm just like, oh, I didn't take my vitamins. Next up, for me personally, I am always coming back to a planner and a to-do list. I am lost without a to-do list and a planner. I bought a planner last year. I used it for probably 3 months. And then I stopped using it. Okay. I need a planner because it helps me with my day-to-day stuff, my life, my day job, and then my social media content, my calendar for content. If I have like Zoom meetings or calls with brands, if I have like a deadline for something, if I have to like plan ahead of time, like what podcast episode I'm going to do or what video I'm posting or like what I'm going to, what TikToks I have to make, like I have to have a dang planner because otherwise my life is falling apart. I have to like write a million things on my notes app on my phone and then I forget about it. I need a planner. I also need a to-do list. And usually I combine the planner and the to-do list into one. It just helps me stay organized. It helps me with my life. It helps my flow, my navigation. It also helps me feel like less overwhelmed because I have some kind of concise plan ahead of me versus like trying to remember everything the day of and being like, what do I have to do again? Like, don't I have to go somewhere or do something or finish something? I'm a planner girl. I just am. Another incoming, cheesy, cliche, annoying one that you don't want to hear, but I'm always coming back to exercise and consistency with exercising. Again, you don't want to hear it, but like we all know at the end of the day, exercising is so good for you to some capacity. And again, whatever it is for you, for your body type, for your level of mobility, whatever it is good for you. There are many, many, many scientific studies that prove that your brain does a little happy dance when you are moving your body or exercising or sweating. You release endorphins and dopamine and all of the good things. And I hate it too. Hello, like why can I not get dopamine released when I am rotting on my couch watching reruns of Friends? Why not? Why do I not get the same dopamine release? Huh? I gotta go to the gym to get that? Ugh. It's not fair. Listen, find a form of exercise that you love and you come back to. For me, it's strength training. I will be talking about it in an upcoming vlog, but I recently canceled my Pilates membership. I did Pilates for a full year last year. Loved it. I had so much fun. It was like very challenging. It was something totally, when I was reassessing at the end of 2023 and I was like, do I want to renew it for another year? I was like, you know what? No, like it just did not give me that burst of energy. It didn't make me like super excited all the time. I just always come back to strength training. Strength training is the one form of exercising that I'm always just like feeling so good about. I feel strong. I feel powerful. Like it's just so fun for me when I really get in like the swing and the routine of doing it. I'm actually like on a good schedule. So finding what you love, sticking with it. Of course, if you are into like trying different things, do it. But having like a go-to form of exercise, if it's a hot girl walk, if it's just like a stroll around the neighborhood, maybe you do a stationary seated bike, find something that you like, that you'll do consistently, that you won't get bored with either, because nothing is worse than like you find something, you love it, then you're like, okay, I'm sick and tired of it. I'm bored. Like I can't do this anymore. I firmly believe that you are a product of your environment. So I feel like whatever control and ability you have over that situation, which is why I do actually love living alone, because I am fully in control of what my environment is like. And it's a fact for me, when my apartment is a mess, when my room is messy, when there's like piles of clothes everywhere, or like just like I have to take out boxes to the recycling bin and it's just like trash and I haven't done the dishes, I feel terrible. I feel gross. I feel dirty. I feel like stressed and anxious. But when my apartment is clean, when it is like spick and span and organized and I've vacuumed and I've put things away and I can actually like walk around without stepping on stuff. I am feeling good. My brain has no negative thoughts. Like, I'm feeling good. It is so annoying. I wish my brain was like, oh, messy stuff? Psh, oh well, I'm happy. No, my brain is not like that, unfortunately. I see a mess. I see clutter. I see dust on things. I see a bunch of dishes in the sink. I just get like overwhelmed. I do not want to like in any way seem like I'm comparing this to like actual OCD or actual like compulsion for cleanliness or filth or anything like that, because that's not what this is. Mine is more just like it irritates me to be in a messy, cluttered environment. And then I don't feel good. I feel stressed. I don't love it. And I have the ability to change it. And I always feel better when I do. A tried and true wellness habit that I recommend is rewarding yourself and getting the little treat. I was actually having a conversation with one of my friends the other day how we always get ourselves little treats, whether it's a little coffee, a little something sweet, a little something from TJ Maxx. You can save every penny you ever have and then die with all your money. And what does that do? Nothing. Or you can just live your life a little bit, go buy yourself a little treat, and get that rush of dopamine that you need. I'm not saying be reckless with your spending. I'm not saying like buy a coffee every single day. But like give yourself a little, treat yourself, all right? Once in a while, get the little treat, have a little fun, make yourself happy. Like do it. Like buy the cute little thing on Amazon you've been wanting. Whatever it is, like life is too short to not give yourself a little treat. Life is too short to not do little fun things for yourself. You'll be miserable and boring and not fun otherwise. Again, I'm not saying go buy a $10,000 purse. Just go get like a slice of cake from the grocery store. Have you ever had a slice of cake from the grocery store? Immediate dopamine rush. Immediate. Hello? Have you ever gotten iced coffee from a coffee shop on like a Sunday afternoon? Cured my depression. Immediately. So good. I just be living one little treat to the next. That's all life is. Last, but certainly not least, in terms of wellness habits that I practice and frequently come back to, this one is one I have to remind myself of all the time because I forget and I find myself stressing and then I'm like, why am I doing this? But it is worrying about the future. Oop, who needed to hear that? Raise your hand. Me. If you're driving, take both hands off the wheel. Just kidding. Don't, please. I find myself worrying about my future from time to time. Like 28, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just like never get married. Maybe like I'll live alone forever or like never buy a house or like, will I be a full-time content creator? Will I exist in physical therapy forever? Like, what am I going to do? What's 5 years from now? What's 10 years from now? Oh my God, I'm going to be 30 soon. Shh. Stop worrying about the future. The future is largely out of our control. We can only control so much on a day-to-day basis. Babes, why are we worrying about the future? Hey, you're not even promised tomorrow. Not to be cynical, but like focus on one day at a time. That's literally it. Do not ask me my 5-year plans, my 5-year goals respectfully. I don't have an answer. Not at all. Sometimes I think, yeah, like, oh, I'd like to have a house by this age or like whatever, but I don't ever like concrete myself to a goal. Like people that live on structured plans, I just like, why? Why would you say I have to be married at 35? I have to do, huh? No, life has other plans for us. I don't know. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. We can't really structurally plan our life. I mean, you can, but I just feel like for the most part, it never works out the way that we want it to. The universe can go in so many different directions. Life can change. Things can change. People can change. There's no point in worrying about the future. There's not. I mean, you can, but how productive is that going to be for you? If you find yourself constantly freaking out, worried, stressed, anxious about the future, you're going to waste all of your time in the present when you could be living and experiencing and enjoying the moments that are happening now, but you can't because you're too busy thinking about 5 years from now. You're too busy, planning and focusing and structuring the next 5 years of your life when you're not even living in the moments that are happening now because you're so fixated on your 5-year plan and you're so determined to have a 10-year plan and a 401k or something. Like, girl, listen, I'm all about like financial responsibility, goals. I'm not saying don't have goals. You guys know what I mean. I really don't need to over-explain myself. Have goals, have intentions, have the openness to opportunity, but stressing over the future, you just can't. It's so unproductive and it doesn't get you anywhere. And it almost makes you like nervous for the future because you overthink it and you're like, oh, what's my life going to look like? Just take a deep breath, focus on the now. That's all I can say. And I make it sound way easier said than done, but I've gotten to the point where I like just don't care about, I do care about the future, but like I don't at the same time. I'm just like, whatever happens, happens. Because again, so much of it is out of our control. Just rock with it one day at a time, babes. That's it. I hope I'm making some kind of sense, or I'm giving you some kind of encouragement and insight into some things that you can practice for yourself in terms of bettering your healthy, your wellness habits, whatever you want to call it. Of course, everyone's lives and routines and structure of how life works is not the same for everybody. So what wellness habits work really well for me may not work really well for you and vice versa. So that's why I recommend trial and erroring and finding influencers and people on like the digital space and see how they live their life. Or maybe you are a single mom and have 3 kids, like see what wellness habits work well for someone else that is a single mom with 3 kids. Like that is the cool part about social media, the part where I feel it can be the most helpful to just gain advice and learn from other people. That'll just about do it for me for this episode. Sorry if I got a little like off the rails there. Feeling a little delirious right now. It is 1 a.m. when I'm filming this. Listen, don't ask. I don't even have an answer for you. But of course, it's no complete episode without a random fun fact. So, did you know it takes about 540 peanuts to make a 12-ounce jar of peanut butter? That's so many peanuts just for like a singular jar. I hope you appreciate peanut butter a little bit more now based on that fun fact that I have no proof if it's even true. As always, thank you so much for listening to another week's episode of Girl on the Internet podcast. Follow us over on Instagram at Girl on the Internet pod. Make sure you go easy on yourself. Love you the most. Practice your wellness habits. Take a deep breath. Everything's going to be all right, my friends. I'll see you next week.